The wind in the high country carried more than dust. It carried heartbreak. Flint McRae sat alone on a granite outcrop, staring at the letter in his hand. The ink was smudged, but the words cut clean. Nellie Mae Mallory had married Deputy Silas Granger, the same man who once tried to hang Flint without a trial. She'd grown tired of waiting for a man with a bounty on his head and a future written in smoke. Flint folded the letter and tucked it into his coat. He didn't curse her. He couldn't. But something in him hardened like the mountain stone beneath his boots. Supplies were running low. The gang was hungry, tired, and restless. Flint sent Boone and Cass to the far side of the range to collect on an old debt from a cattleman named Judd Harlan, a man who once owed Flint his life after a Comanche ambush. But when they arrived, Harlan spat in the dirt and said, "I don't know no Flint McRae, and I sure as hell wouldn't deal with a train-robbing coward." When Boone and Cass returned with the insult, Flint's jaw clenched like a bear trap. "Saddle up," he growled. "We're gonna remind Mr. Harlan who he owns." But someone else had heard the news. Clara Harlan, Jug's wife, a woman of sharp wit and sharper instincts, she'd spent years watching her husband pick fights he couldn't win. She knew this one would be his last. As Judd stormed out to defend his honor, Clara hitched a wagon, loaded it with flour, jerky, coffee, and ammunition, and took the mountain pass at a gallop. She knew where the Blackthorn gang would ride, and she meant to meet them first. Back at the ranch, Jug's temper met its match. Not in bullets, but in horns. His prized bull, riled by his shouting and swagger, gored him clean through the chest. By the time the ranch hands found him, the dust had already settled. Clara reached the pass just as the gang crested the ridge. Flint's eyes narrowed, hand drifting toward his revolver, until he saw the wagon, the supplies, and the woman driving it. "I figured you'd come," Clara said, climbing down. "Figured Judd would be too proud to pay a debt and too dumb to die with dignity." Flint stared at her, then at the wagon. "You knew we were coming?" "I knew you'd be angry, but I also knew you were a killer, not without cause." The gang stood silent as Flint stepped forward. He took the reins from her hands, then tipped his hat. "You just saved your husband's life," he said. Clara looked him in the eye. "No, Mr. McRae, I saved yours."